was talking about so many different techniques. Now I want to say something else about what technique is the best technique. And the thing is, none is really better than the other. It is just pure preference. If you are amazing at visualization, then that might be your perfect technique. If you cannot visualize, and obviously that is not your technique, but maybe you can imagine conversations, then inner conversation may be the perfect technique for you. Maybe you are very creative and you get bored easily, then visualization may not be the right technique for you, or affirmations, because that is constantly repeating the same things. Then daydreaming might be the right technique for you, where you constantly have like inner conversations, or you're daydreaming that your person is with you, or that you have that specific thing without repeating the same scene constantly over and over again. If you are not very creative, then maybe affirmations is the best thing for you, especially if you like structure and repetition. Or maybe like me, you like writing and you always wrote into your diary anyway, then scripting might be the best technique for you. Maybe automatic affirmations, you know, where you constantly repeat affirmations over and over and over again, like, I don't know, hundreds of times in a row, is the best technique for you. The technique is just there to get your subconscious mind saturated with the information, you know, like I am XYZ, I have XYZ, or person XYZ is that, or treats me in that way. And when you do that often enough, then your subconscious mind is going to believe whatever it is. So the technique is just there to get it into your subconscious mind by constant repetition, and or by getting into the feeling. And that is another thing that some people ask me when I have to imagine my person hugging me. I have difficulties feeling their arms around me. And I'm saying, no, that's not what it is. It's, you don't have to feel their body or smell them. I mean, if you can do that, it's good to do that, because, well, it would just give your imagination or your visualization a different layer, but it's not that. I asked the client, and she is right now in a phase where she is decluttering, and I asked her, okay, just close your eyes and imagine you're standing in your apartment and you're done decluttering. How does that feel? And she was like, oh my God, freeing. It feels so good. And then I said, okay, and now imagine your person standing there in your apartment and they're finally telling you, I love you, and they're hugging you. How does that feel? She was like, oh my God, that is just, I'm so happy when I think about that. And that's the feeling we want. It's not like I have to imagine, I feel that physical touch. It is getting into this feeling of, oh my God, this feels so good. Oh my God, this feels so freeing. Oh my God, this feels so satisfying. The technique is there to get into that state. My favorite, or one of my favorite techniques, is scripting. So I wrote several scenarios, or sometimes just affirmations, and then I read them, and just reading them gets me into the state like, oh my God, I'm relaxed in that moment. It makes me happy to read that, because it makes me feel good to really imagine that thing I wrote. And that is where you want to aim. But do you need that in order to manifest? No, you don't need to really feel. As I said, like, automatic affirming is a technique that could also work, because it's just saturating your subconscious mind by repeating it so that your subconscious mind will believe it. If you put like a feeling behind it, then it may be a little bit stronger to get it in there a little bit faster for some people. But again, that is an assumption, you know. If you have the assumption, no, automatic repeating or automatic affirming is my technique and that is what's working fastest for me, amazing, that's your assumption, and that is what's going to work for you. If you have the assumption, oh no, I have to get a lot of emotion in there, then that is what's working for you. And if you're scared that you cannot do that, then I would advise you to work on that assumption. Like, oh no, I'm doing it perfect. I'm perfect at manifesting. It is so easy for me to manifest. You know, to clear the assumption of, oh, I have to do extra, or I'm not good at it. You know, just the feeling, it is just heightening your emotions up a little bit. And yes, it can make it a little bit more intense. More intense can make it faster. I mean, it's working the other way around, right? Let's say you've almost been hit by a car. Then, oh my God, you're scared and, you know, heart is racing. And maybe you would, from now on, check before you cross the street. But now imagine you've been hit by that car. You've been seriously hurt. And that kind of trauma, of course, would give you even more fear of crossing the street from then on. You know, the more the impact is, the bigger the fear, the bigger the response to it, the physical response to it even. And when you visualize something, it is something that is bigger emotion, and bigger emotions are more ingrained. But we can ingrain everything the same way if we just do a little bit more. Bruce Lipton has been doing research for decades on that. Dr. Bruce Lipton, you will find him here on YouTube as well. And he said, well, we can always learn something new because we do get programmed in the first 7 years of our lives. Our brain is in the theta waves, and we are specifically suggestive, open to suggestions. So it is best to reprogram your mind when you're in the theta brainwave state, you know, when you're in like a trance, you know, like hypnosis or meditation, or in the REM sleep at night, or when you're falling asleep, you know, like Devil Goddess, that state akin to sleep. That is a perfect moment to get stuff into our subconscious mind. However, if we don't go that deep, if we're like in beta, like a lower beta brain waves, then we still can get it in, but it needs a little bit more work or repetition. And even if you're like wide awake, you can still get it in, but it would take, you know, even more. It's like a funnel, you know. It's the deeper the brain state, like the less you have to do. But don't worry about it if you say like, I cannot really get it in. But don't worry if you're thinking, I can't really get into this deep state, or I can't visualize, or can't really feel it. If you're enjoying this video so far and maybe already got some valuable information out of it, then please let me know by commenting and liking. That will help me to understand what kind of content you like, and I can create more of it. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please considering subscribing, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. I release content like this all the time on a regular basis, and you don't want to miss that one video that might change your life and shift you to your happy end. The technique, again, no technique is better than another. They're highly subjective, which one is best for you. For all, though, it is important to stay on a mental diet. Like, the mental diet is key, and self-concept is key. I know some people say, oh no, you don't have to do shadow work, you don't have to work on yourself to manifest anything. I have seen a video by Sammy Ingram, I believe her name is, you don't have to work for your manifestation. Well, technically she is right, but then I'm sorry, she is not, because you don't have to work on your manifestations is right if you don't have limiting beliefs. Like, it is so easy, for example, to manifest parking spots, right? Because you probably have not been traumatized not finding a parking spot. So it is easy to manifest that. But let's say you have been abused as a child and you have very bad self-concept. If you have experienced severe trauma, I'm sorry, you have to work on that, you know, by using Ho'oponopono or the revision technique, because we have to clear the negative assumptions first. I always say, when you want to plant flowers, you have to dig out the weeds first. If there's no weeds, that's fine, then you don't have to do any work. But sometimes we do have stronger programs, and then we do have to dig those out, so it does require work. But technically, do you need to work in order to manifest? No, it's no work required. The technique is just there to get into that emotion, to saturate your mind. The work would only come into play if you have very negative assumptions or traumas or patterns, and you have to break those. Then yes, it does require work, it does require shadow work. And shadow work, to me, Ho'oponopono revision technique would be shadow work, because you're dealing with your shadows, right? But yes, you do have to address that if you want change. Otherwise, you're affirming for your person to come. You can do that for years. If you have a really strong traumatic experience that is not healed, or very, very bad self-concept, the flowers cannot bloom. You have to dig out the weed first. But otherwise, no technique is better. The mental diet, however, is vital for all of them. Otherwise, you're planting your seeds and then you're digging them out right away, because when your mind goes to the opposite of what you want, it's basically like canceling your order. And you can do that for years. You can order and cancel, order and cancel, order and cancel, and then it's those people that are saying, oh, I'm manifesting all the time and it's not coming. Yeah, probably because you're canceling, or because you do have a limiting belief that is blocking it, and you have to address that first, you know, work on your self-concept, or see, is there some kind of trauma or really bad childhood stuff, you know, like first 7 years of our lives that we'd have to address. Anyway, that was it for this video. No technique is better. Please write in the comments what is your personal favorite technique, and write some success stories. You always like to read those. If you need a little help for your manifestation to come and you want me to help you, then my contact information is below, or check out my other videos. I do have probably plenty of videos that can help you. I see you there in the other videos, or I see you in a personal coaching or reading. And till then, I wish you all the best now. Bye bye.